Hello everybody, my name is Mehmet Batuhan Neziroğlu and I am a second year CS student at Bilkent University. Today I will talk about my Physics 102 project. In this experiment I tried to show that resistance is proportional to the length and inversely proportional to the area. Additionally, I calculated the resistivity and the percentage error both using my experimental and calculated data. So now let's talk about the procedure and instruments that I used. So for this experiment we need a 30 cm ruler, two multimeter, which one of them is used as voltmeter and other one is used as ammeter, one vernier caliper or micrometer, one power supply, some cable with crocodile clips, and 4 to 5 chromium cable with different radius and different length. For the first part of the experiment, I set up the circuit as shown on the screen. I divided the cable into segments 10 cm apart and calculated the resistance by observing the voltage and current, increasing the length by 10 cm for each record. After recording my values in a table, I plotted a resistance versus length graph which confirmed that resistance is proportional to length. For the second part of my experiment, the aim remained the same. However, this time I kept the length constant at 60 cm and varied the area by changing the radius by 0.1 mm each time. Unfortunately, since our lab lacked nichrome cables with referent radii, I had to use calculated values instead of experimental ones. Using the formula resistance equal to resistivity times length over area, I calculated the resistance. Then I plotted a graph of resistance versus area, which demonstrated that resistance is inversely proportional to area. Next, I used the slope of the first graph, resistance versus length, to determine the resistivity. By multiplying the slope with the constant area from the first part of the experiment, calculated as 3.14 times 10 to the power minus 8, using the formula area p r square, I derived the resistivity. The radius was measured using a micrometer. Finally, I calculated the percentage error for the resistivity. Lastly, I want to discuss some potential error sources. First, I used the cable extensively while recording the values, which may have increased its temperature over time, potentially affecting the results. Secondly, the lack of nichrome cables with varying radii forced me to rely on calculated values for the second part of the experiment. Thirdly, transferring data from the table to graph was challenging and in some cases, I approximated the placement of values which might have influenced the graph's slope and consequently the resistivity calculations. Lastly, the voltage and current values fluctuated within a small range and using approximation for these values while calculating the resistance could also have introduced errors. So this was my experiment. Thank you for watching and I hope this presentation gave you a clear understanding of my experiment and its findings. Thank you.